First and foremost, thank you so much, Sheewana, for joining the podcast today. I'm excited for this one. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I stay excited.
Oh, okay. I love that intro. And it's great to be excited because when you're excited, you get to enjoy the good things that you need. You know, sometimes we go through a lot of we can't enjoy those things because things are in the way. So I just, enjoy the fact that you're able to bring that out and let people know more about, where we are, where we think, and how we think through things,
Amen.
It's amazing. And just tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and we can get into some topics where it's going to help some people understand some things that, they can feel more comfortable expressing.
Alrighty. So, like you said, my name is Sheewana. I am the founder of Fantasize Your Room, where we help adults bring their inner fantasies to life. Most people don't like to talk about things like that. So I think it's very important to kind of start from the beginning. A lot of people kind of jump right into things like sex, and they think because we were created, to reproduce, that everybody knows what they're doing and know exactly what it is that they want or how to articulate what they want. And everyone, they don't. So I consult individually and then collectively, if need be, within couples, to find out who's the more dominant person in the relationship, to find out where you guys are, and who's ever the lesser dominant is where we kind of meet your partner at. So we want to kind of start from the baseline of where that person is, and then elevate as we go and we grow.
That's amazing. You said two things that really hit me really good. Like the first one was you do it individually and you also do it collectively. And then you also mentioned how you want them to express themselves and, what are those things that it takes to get there. So could you tell us more about is it more of individually like a one-on-one? Because even the dominant, two people could be dominant or two people could be submissive. So how does that go when you're really trying to dissect it?
So it's important to kind of find out where the individuals are, and that has to be done individually, because sometimes you may not want to be as expressive in front of your partner, especially if we're starting this journey, right? Because it's one of those things that people really don't like to talk about. So if you haven't already spoken about it with your partner, if in front of me, it's going to be the exact same thing. You're going to hold some things back, and your reasons why. But when we do it individually, it gives us an opportunity to kind of bond, for us to speak, because sometimes these things go back to, childhood trauma or being assaulted, and that's for males and females. And sometimes, they may not want to say those things or give that reason why they don't want to move forward. So when I do it that way, I can then find out where they are individually and then kind of show them where they can meet at collectively, and then where to start.
That's deep, because now it changes everything, because now you're focusing on the person, and sometimes people are holding on to other things that they shouldn't be when they should be letting go in that moment. So it's like a mind fight, it's like a tug of war. And
Right.
And sometimes if your mind is not there, your body's not there. And if your body's not there, nobody's there.
Right, that's right. It works together. It's really important. And I always give the example to people that you can say I do. You can spend years with one and say I do, or you can date for over a decade, right? You can have children, you can have investments together, your finances are now combined, you can guys share real estate, you share really important things in life that we purchase, like homes and vehicles, and you take family trips, and all these fun things that we do. And then soon as we have a conversation about bondage or being tied up, using handcuffs, or being spanked, everyone wants to withdraw. They want to become something else. It's not who I am. They become defensive. No, they can't. I don't want nobody putting me in something and not letting me go. And I'm like, but you'll bear this man's children, and you'll take on that could change your life forever. but you don't trust this person with your body, or you don't trust them with their fantasies. It's amazing.
That's a mic drop. That's hot, because now you start thinking about those things, because you're like, oh, I want to do this, or I used to try this, or you've never done this before. Now it sounds like a taboo. Now it sounds like, ooh, it sounds like, oh man, I don't think so. You know, people have gone through those things, especially when they're exposed to it the first time and it wasn't a good time. You know, it kind of changes you for a long time.
And that happens because we get so excited as human beings. Sex is exciting. So we get so excited. Our parents are telling us not to do it. The reasons that we shouldn't do it. Now we want to do it. Now we're getting excited about it. And now we're reading things. And the internet is showing us things. And I want to do that. That makes me feel a different kind of way. I want to try these things. And what happens is the brain is not developed enough to really deal with these things. The things that we're discussing, it takes some mental development that most people don't have at an early age. And I mean that all the way up to even your early 30s. So because you haven't experienced these things and you're experiencing them too soon before the mental development, you experience these things with the wrong people. The connection is not there. Then you're being mishandled. The person wasn't taught how to handle you. Then you have these experiences, and then you tell yourself that I like them or I don't like them. You know, I did that. Then, when you get settled in life and you decide, I want to settle down, I want to have a partner, I'm ready to live my life and have someone to share it with. Now, all of those things that you should be doing as mature adults, you now say, oh, I did that back in my heyday. Oh, that was back when I was just having a good time. Oh, I'm not doing that stuff. No, you shouldn't have been doing it back then. Because no one even explained to you what you were doing. Now that you have a lifelong partner and they have fantasies, now you're too grown. Now I'm too spiritual or religious or whatever most high you serve. It's against all of those things. And it's really not. It's just that you weren't prepared and you did it too soon, and now you want to tell yourself that you're over it when you shouldn't be. And now, thus, it gets real.
Whoa. Y'all are not ready for this episode at all. It's like they're hearing it and they're listening and they're processing, and then they're like, light bulb. And it's like, I thought you already knew this, but it's like when people don't go to that extent where they've gone literally extreme, they don't know how extreme they could get.
That's right. That's right. Then we start closing doors to fantasies and opportunities. And I try to explain to people, when you pick a partner, which we're all created to do, whose responsibility is it to allow your partner to be the best version of themselves? If you're closing the doors to conversations, or you're responding prematurely, if you're responding in an immature way, you have now suppressed that person's fantasies for another 5 to 10 years, or until the fantasies take on an entity of their own and show up when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, that definitely hit a nerve, because now you're speaking like it's, you should be doing these things when you should be doing them, not when you think you thought you should have been doing them. But it's like, at this point, you can't really say you can or you can't, because you already did. So if it's happened, how do you change that process? Do you need to go to therapy? Do you need to go to a collective group? Like, do you have to hear other people's stories? Like, oh, we've been married 10 years. Oh, we've been married 30 years. We divorced after 2 months. Like, or we divorced after never. You know, some people will never do that. Some people have the prenup. Some people do. So it's like, there are so many like complications. And I'm like, I just want to be with you. It's that simple, but it's so complex, you know?
It's so complex because when we experience them prematurely, things happen that we're not ready for. Some of those things could be trauma, right? So if I did it when I wasn't supposed to, and then something took place, Now I've gotten this protective barrier against that. So the next person that I'm with, that I'm going to spend my life with, it doesn't even matter because that barrier is protected. Now, had we waited, had we got proper education, we will be open to our partner's ideas. But because we do these things prematurely, we close down and we shut down so many ideas because people have done things to us that has affected us. We have trauma that we're trying to deal with, and most people don't go to most people don't go to therapy for sex trauma.
Is there a reason why, or they don't know where to go or who to go to?
Most people are just embarrassed. We have been wired to look at sex initially as bad. That's some of the first things. Is very few people who initiates this conversation to their children as something wonderful and beautiful to take part in. They use more scare tactics. You'll catch STIs. You'll get pregnant. You can catch HIV. They use these things and say, this is why we shouldn't. It has never stopped anyone from doing it, though. So because we use these scare tactics, and we try to wire our children not to do it, it makes us not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
That hits, because now, like, if they don't talk about it, the ones that tried it before they did it or know about it as they grow and mature, is it because they were not educated well enough and, like you said, embarrassed? But like, some people may have not even done anything, but they just don't know until someone sparks that flame, like, ooh, that was nice, and then you want to do it again because you didn't know that ever existed. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, typical example, because you guys know this is explicit, so you guys stay tuned. You know, like, I know that just from experience and from what I know, just generally off the bat, is that when I have conversations and I get to hear like stories and how, you know, women are and how the relationships are taken, not so many women have been able to orgasm. I don't know if there's a study, or even squirt, to say the least. So, or quiff, or whatever you want to call it. There are some things that you have never seen, heard. You're like, what is that? You're going to check Urban Dictionary right now, you know, or ask Siri, because you don't know those things or those terms. So how do you explain to someone that has no idea, but they need to know this, so when it happens, they're not confused, embarrassed, or stuck up? You know, that happens.
First, they have to have an I want to attitude. And you have to have an open mind to learn. Most people assume because they have so much sex that they know what they're doing. Do you know how you would feel after having 3 kids, a 10-year marriage, to actually go to someone and say, I've been having sex all my life and I really don't know how, you know, to operate my body, or I don't know how to please him. When you have your own business and you're going out and you're socializing and you're having tea and cocktails, and guys are going to games together and going to the bar and chatting at the barber shop, who's going to say that? You have to internally know that you need this, because it's almost like saying, I can't love you more than you love you. It won't work. You have to want to know. You have to identify that you don't know. Then it's easier for me when I, speak with you, to be able to get you to open up, because you have to accept that. They say, when you go to those, those groups, that the first state of, fixing your problem is admitting that you have one. So very few people don't want to admit it. So, I thank, the Most High, that I have a discernment that it's easier for people when we're one-on-one to tell me that, to say that. And if you don't want to see me, right, there's small techniques of trust-building skills when it comes to having sex. And I'll give you an example. I did a show about how do you tell your partner that, you know, you want to bring a toy into the bedroom? So I said, well, after you cook dinner and your house is all clean, it's smelling all good, on his side of the bed, on his pillow, you put an adult, a novelty. You put an item there. Something that's just that you both could use, something that's for him and for her, and put it there with a little note, smiley face, or anything. If you've never said that to him, he's going to pick it up, sit on the bed, and be like, what the heck? Oh my God, she just put this on my bed. Oh my goodness, she want me to do this, she want me to use this. Like, I didn't know she was into this, you know? So if you have someone that knows how to respond to you, then that person would then come out there to you, kind of maybe having it in their hand, kind of come up behind you, kissing on you, getting the body ready, and then say the proper things. Now, if you're someone who's not mentally prepared, you could take that toy, come out there, swinging it in the air, being funny, you know, popping her on the leg or something with it. And it was so hard for her to even get to that point. So I tell people all the time, we enjoy comedians because the truth lies within a joke. If you joke about it and you say something that's offensive, 9 out of 10 people would believe that that's exactly how you feel.
Wow. If we now talk about this context, right, before and after marriage, how does that play into, I'll give you 2 types of couples so that we can, like, you know, just have a conversation. So 2 couples, they've never done anything, and like in their past lives or whatever, they're just literally ready to start. And then another couple who they've had a lot of things going on, but they know what they want, but they don't know everything that they actually want because they've not been with the person that fulfills completely everything, even though they have, but sometimes it takes 2 to get there. So how do these 2 work together before or after marriage so that they don't lose that spark?
Well, one, before we even get with people, you know what you fantasize about. It's just that we're so embarrassed about our fantasies that we wait to tell people because we don't trust people with our fantasies. People judge you so harshly because of your fantasies. So that's like the last thing people will hold out of, where I would say, let it be something that comes up in a more frequent conversation. Let it be something that's, you know, along the lines of getting to know you, because then you're giving the person options. Not just that, the person, even if we haven't picked a time to try these things, at least I know that it's on the table. It may take a while for us to get there. Then you have to make sure that you're wording your fantasies properly. So for my couple that has never done anything, we want to make sure that we're wording how we feel properly, that we're not giving it derogatory terms. You know, if you want to be called a freak, that's one thing if you're having good sex, yada, yada, yada. But we use terms like dirty, nasty, disgusting, top, you know, all these names that we want to give how we really feel. That will make it difficult for you to tell your partner. Instead, give it something that's beautiful. Give it a beautiful name. Give it a seductive name. Give your fantasies a name that you can live with. It's almost like having an alter ego. You want to make sure that it's something that makes you feel good when you say it. Then it makes it easier to discuss. But when you have the world giving you all these words, and they're out here, you know, sexualizing sex in a way that is just, just disgusting. If you mention it, you know, this is what you do, this is what you like. It's just, that's not what it is at all. It's love. It's gentle. It's kind. So first, I would say name it something beautiful. It makes it easier to discuss.
Yeah.
Name it whatever you want. And when you do that, then your partner is open. And it allows the mind to have a mental rest. Because sometimes when we hold out and we've been having sex with the same person, when you finally get the courage to open your mouth if this person is not mentally prepared for you or your conversation, they're going to assume the worst about you. Okay? I like to use this. I had a fantasy about putting something in my anal. I wanted to have double penetration. And you're looking at this person like, who the hell did I just marry? Or, you know, who am I with? And, you know, then you're judging this person. Now this person's not going to say anything. And this person's going to go through the dating stage and the courting stage and going to keep all these fantasies inside and never tell you, or wait another 5 years to tell you. Now to my couple who is a little bit more educated about the lifestyle. It's really important to know the do's and the don'ts and who you are within the lifestyle. I tell people that it's an ABC chart. You can get on A, you can go to D and stop. You can go to D and go to K and stop. But most people who meet someone who like to do things like swap or go to events where they can watch live role play, they don't really talk to their partners about the do's and the don'ts and what makes them comfortable or uncomfortable. They're just excited to get from A to Z. I want to go. I want to do this. And then what happens is our emotions kick in. Things happen that shouldn't. You have to have a very clear understanding about what you want, what you're willing to try, and that you guys are in agreement to. If you have a relationship that requires a contract, it is very important that he has one as well as you, because there are expectations of you both. And with those expectations, boundaries should not be crossed. You should know how far you can go with your partner without ever saying a word. Clear communication is needed for couple number 2. Very clear.
Yeah.
It can end some stuff. It can end
It's true. It's so true. You know, like when people know these things or they've not experienced it and they see it, they're like, oh man, this is bad. You know, I would never do this. I would do this when I'm dating, but I won't do this when I'm married, like you said. But it's like, why are you even doing it in the first place if you haven't even gotten to the point where you can be comfortable with someone that you want to be with? So it's crazy.
That's right. And we don't even think about it. We just do it, and never really even think about it. And I've met so many older couples and people that have gotten set. I'm talking about 50 and older, 45 and older, and set that was in my heyday. When actually you were doing it when you weren't supposed to. Now that you're supposed to, and that's the connection to longevity, now you're going to shut down on the most important race of your life. You know, when you get to and you give the baton to the anchor, and the anchor brings it home. As soon as you get there and you get married and you get anchored in, then you're going to stop running.
It's like, why you stop?
Now you stop. Now you're supposed to do the things you're supposed to. Now you want to just quit and just say, that was back then. That is crazy to me. And it's selfish.
It is. But I also think some people tie that into moral values, quote unquote. They tie it into, like you said, religion. They tie it into do's and don'ts. And you're like, oh yeah, Solomon had 1,000 wives. You know, like, and you know, there's always one. You're gonna pick something from the Bible and leave the other, and not think about what happened. You were not there, so you can't really tell the story. You can tell your story, but you don't want to. You like, what am I looking for? The word exactly. The word I'm looking for is taint your vision, so you can see it, but you don't know what is happening. But because you're just very relaxed, like I said, because of those moments, you just want to lay back. How does someone deal with that when they don't know what's happening?
It's just about you. That's why we have the individual meeting first, because it's all about you. Before we can even move to him or her, it's really about you. It's really about you to understand that whatever Most High you serve, you have to believe At some point, that person created you just fine. There's nothing wrong with you. From your hair, to your eyes, to your skin, to your lips, to everything about you is just beautifully created. First of all, right? Your thought process. If you're not trying to harm yourself or anyone else, then there's nothing wrong with your thought process. You're just fine. You're okay. Nothing wrong with you. Okay? Because you close your eyes and you have these imageries, there is nothing wrong with you. It's you. You're not thinking about anybody else outside of whoever's in your fantasy, but it's you that has created it. We are created to daydream, to fantasize. It's just daydreaming. That's all that it is, what you're created to do. So once you understand that nothing's wrong with you, then you can understand that the way that I feel and the things that I create, there's nothing wrong with me. So you can't say that I'm full of evil things because you're beautifully created. It's how we label these things and how we label ourselves. So once you understand this is who I am and nothing's wrong with me, then it's easier for you to accept these things that we're talking about, because you have to first accept you before you can even go and try to express it to someone else. So most people, they get in relationships and they want to push these things down because of their beliefs. But when would you get an opportunity? People will be fighting themselves their whole life. Yeah, people are not going to tell you that I constantly battle with my flesh. I constantly battle with my flesh. Why are you battling with your flesh? Understand who you are. Accept who you are. Control who you are. Then give who you are permission to live when you want to. Don't allow it. Don't suppress it to the point that then you say, oh, something happened. I don't know what came over me. It was a mistake. This and this happened. And then you want to go and be, cleansed all over again. Nothing is wrong with you. If you would just take care of you properly, then those things won't come up. It makes it easier for you to talk to people, your partner, about these things without feeling like they're going to judge you. Just be you. And before I end this thought, I met a lady. And she said after we spoke that if she had met me 3 months earlier than that, she wouldn't have been able to have the conversation that we had. They were in their religion and her husband was asking her to do different things, wanted to bring different things in, and they had been battling it for a year, going to the pastor. I mean, they were in it. She was calling him out of his name, praying for him out loud, just cursing the things that he was mentioning. And then she had, a revelation. And then when she spoke to me, and I explained to her some of the things that we're talking about, she then left that conversation understanding that it was her, she did, not what I told her. It was within the conversation of her selected choices of questions that she was suppressing something that she should have given more attention to. Because I explained to her that if you are not giving your husband an opportunity to be open with you, who should he be open with?
Ooh. Yeah. That should sit for a little bit.
It did. She was looking at me like, I got this thing all wrong, and I'm like, it's okay. We don't know. And because we think that our religion or our background or whatever most high we serve, that we're all of these things, it only feels that way when you're unequally yoked and you're doing these things out of order. If you're doing them with her, him, she, them, listen, of course you're going to feel some kind of way. You're going to start to label yourself. But if you've chosen a partner, how could it be the same? How could you do it unyoked and then do it yoked and it be the same? It will not be the same. It is different.
Whoa, that is, wait. So when you do it yoked and somebody else does it unyoked, how does that play? Like for example, you gave that scenario where like lifestyle and everything. So when you're supposed to do it and it's done that way, should it feel different? And by different, I mean like, what should you be seeing differently from the other side of the grass? I just want to make sure people get this and get it home.
Oh my gosh. When you learn how to touch the body, I give people this example. I say, you should be so open with your partner that he can walk up to you in a beautiful gown, dressed beautifully, makeup laid, hair laid, and stick his hand up your dress and spread your legs by holding the small of your back and insert a vibrating ball in a room full of people and you not say a word. That is a different kind of connection that you would have in your yoke, because you are clear. This person understands you. This person knows you. You have a love communication that doesn't require words. It's the body. It's how the body is handled. You cannot handle the body the exact same way you do with everyday sex. It just doesn't work. It has to be done differently, because if you're expecting someone to allow you to express your fantasies with every part of their body, I'm going to need you to learn how to touch me so that my body will be accepting and not tense. I won't be thinking, and that's why I tell people it's really important to wear blindfolds. When you can see, you can anticipate. You tell your brain what's going on because you can see it. It shuts down the sensual nerves in your body, and it doesn't allow you to be free. Because you're tense, you can see, you're wondering what's about to happen. But when you wear blindfolds, everything that you feel is brand new. You can't anticipate it. It's a completely different love language.
Speaking of love language and mindset and really being in that moment, I've been looking at your picture and it's a perfect segue. Could you express this picture? Because I love the way it just has that immersion. And if somebody wants to see it or think about it, if you're watching this video, you can see that. Now, this person has his mind, like her eyes are not even blindfold, but she's pretty much immersed. And then at the same time, wait, I think I'm seeing 3, not 2. Am I wrong or am I right? Wait a minute. It's a full picture I'm seeing now. Whoa. So tell me, oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Talk to me about this. This is deep. Yeah. Cause I want, yeah. I'll give you a little example after this and you'll tell me whether, yeah, but
it's really important for people to be expressive. People express themselves through music, they express themselves through art, through movies, through books. I'd say you can tell a lot about a person by what they read and what they listen to. Music is one of my favorite languages to use for communication. If I can listen to your whole playlist, I can learn a lot about it. So those things are important to how we express ourselves. So artwork like this, because a lot of the times it's just a good way to communicate, because people, especially me, right? A lot of people, I'll use myself as an example. You're not going to get so much about me from my mouth to ear. And I always use mouth to ear because that's the only way that I take information. Okay? But if you look at my picture selections or imageries or quotes or things like that, you can kind of get an idea of what I like or what I'm open to. But most people don't do research for people. They normally want you to tell them everything, but people are not going to be that open. It's really important to look at things like pictures, what they read, quotes, music, because that's going to tell you things about them that they're not going to say. So that's one of the ways that I express myself.
I love that you said that, because I'm a musician too, and I'm a songwriter, I'm a drummer, self-taught, and I know rhythm. So, and you know, and it's all about the flow, consistency. And now that I'm thinking about the way you said expression, especially with the playlist part, because some people are like, yeah, that's 30 songs, but that's 30 songs of heaven. You know, you just want to know what it is, how, and then set the mood and be creative. But some people are just like, oh yeah, I got it, I got mine, you know, I'm good. And it's like, what?
yeah It's amazing. It's a great way to communicate. And even with my children, I'm a mother of 5, right?
Wow. That's beautiful.
I have 4 boys and I have a daughter. And a lot of times, I didn't know that we use music so much to communicate. When we're in the vehicle, and I'll give them, you know, they can connect to, you know, the car, and they say, I'm gonna play music. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're kind of close in the same era. I'll say that much.
Hey.
Right? So we're not far from what we like and don't like about each other's, you know, music. Even if we weren't close, you know, in the same era, that I still would listen just the same. So I allow them to play music the whole time we're driving, because I drive alone a lot, you know, so I can play my music whenever. But I want to know what they got going on. Like one of my sons, he's very, very quiet, right? He's very kind of, you know, nonchalant, no standoffish, but they're all business owners, amen. But he plays music. He likes a lot of like Frank Sinatra. He plays a lot of like deep love songs. But it's not something that kids his age would listen to. So when he plays music and I'm listening, I'm like, oh my God, my baby is the undercover lover. Like, he's a lover. Like, he has such a good heart. Like, oh, it's so sweet, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I get there from him, but from his music, I'm like, oh, he's so sweet. He has such a good heart, you know. So one of my sons, he plays a lot of instrumentals, so he likes a lot of beats and rhythm and sounds. So, you know, when we listen to sounds, it just kind of, you know, puts you in a relaxed state. So he's someone I know that likes to be relaxed all the time. He doesn't necessarily need, you know, words to go there. He just, you know, so it's a language. So I tell anyone, you know, if you have children, especially if once they hit that teen going upward, it's really important to listen to their music. Listen to their music if you want to know more about your child. If they're playing music and it's all, you know, undercut and that thing just wicked and saying some wicked stuff, and they play this as hard and rough and saying some stuff that and you know,
yeah,
it's like, whoa, you know,
right?
It's important. Just saying, that was from me to y'all. That was free, guys.
Wow, that you just blessed this episode. Like you just, because a lot of people listening, you know, we got to clap for that. You know, it's amazing, because, you know, people are wondering, like, how do I get over this thing? How do I learn these things? How do you take care of this person? Because there's no manual, but it's like your manual is the manual you need to write, pretty much.
Yes.
You
yes.
know?
Yes, write your own manual, and your manual starts from instructions. Now, because you said manual, I'll use a vehicle. I use it for an example all the time. If you take a vehicle, there's nothing wrong. I mean, nothing is wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. You park it in the garage for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. You're not going to take that car out, clean it up and dust it off without changing oil, checking tires, making sure that everything works. You are going to take time out before you put that vehicle on the road to make sure that it is operative. That's what we're doing. We must do the same thing with ourselves. If you are someone who does not have a car, I also teach self-care, individual care. I also speak to women about identifying their bodies and calling them the right body parts, and teaching their daughters and their sons. You must make sure that you're educated. You must make sure that you know how to make your body work. You have to know how to make it work, because if you are untouched and when you go and you put your vehicle on the road and someone gets sent driving and now is hesitating on him or her and they're trying to figure out what's going on, they're going to drive to their destination, which is ejaculation, and they're going to get out.
Facts. They're going to pull out.
They're going to get out the car. They're going to be like, this car won't acting right.
Exactly. Like, park the car.
It's not the person that you put the keys in their hands job to make sure the car works. When you go to the car lot, when they give you a vehicle and give you the keys, it has to work. So if it doesn't work, then you're going to be mad at the driver. Oh, they didn't make me. I didn't. They came twice. I didn't. You know, I couldn't get there. They not good. Sex is this. No, boo. No. It's not he or she's job to make you do what you're supposed to do. You have to touch your body. You have to keep your body active. It's like having a baby, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a child, the body now has a memory of how to give birth. If you wait 10 years later and have another child, the body forgets what to do. It's as if you've never had a child before. Now, if you had a child and you have a child 2 years later, that's close apart. It's muscle memory. It will remember. The longer it goes untouched, the more you have to touch it. So it can remember what to do when it is touched.
Hot mic. Whoa. Yeah, you guys have a lot of thinking to go through, processing. This feels like a part 2 should be coming on next. Like we can't finish this in an hour. No way. Yeah, this y'all should just sit on this for the rest of the month. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your holiday. Come back and be like, did you try it?
But again, you slide one in.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to keep it.
Before we go, I just want everyone to know before we leave each other that nothing's wrong with you. The things that you think, the things that you crave, they will never go away. Okay? The only thing that you're training your body to do is suppress them. Nothing goes suppressed that stays suppressed. You want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with all of you so that you can be the best version of you. That is called giving your fantasies permission to live, giving them the correct terminology, and speaking life into those things. There's nothing wrong with you or what you want, how you want it, or where you want it. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just fine. You're okay. And I just wanted to say that because a lot of times people, they think something wrong with them. Nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly fine. You're perfectly creative. You're good.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you said that so that they feel like they can enjoy what they're expressing. You know, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Sheewana, for joining today. If there's any way they can reach out to you, let's say they want to contact you, what are the best options they got?
They can. So you can definitely go to my Instagram and you can DM me at Fantasize Your Room. I also have a website, so fantasizeyourroom.com. Check it out. Some adult novelties on there, some becoming things. Getting ready for the holidays, so I am changing some things around, so do bear with us. But yes, you can also find me on Facebook. Not as much, I just throw it out there, but definitely on IG. And if you're a Clubhouse fan, look me up and follow me. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Sheewana, and definitely catch up with her, join the rooms, and yeah, you will not be disappointed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Favor. I love your name.
Thank you.
May you continue to rain down on you.
Amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Bye.